Damn.
Well, I gotta be at work in a half an hour, so I should just stay.
I'm trying to see my mom. I feel alone.
I talked to her yesterday on the phone. She didn't mention anything. Just call me later and let me know how she is, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I do got you.
Why don't you give me your cell phone number so I can call you later?
Nah, I can't do that.
Why not? You should have some man's number.
Yeah, I know. He's a bitch ass. I mean, it's like one of those prison parolees that got one of them ankle bracelets that goes off every time he steps out the house. Beep, beep, beep. Who is it? Teach you here, teach you there, teach you everywhere.
Oh, come on.
I'm telling you. Kirk's the living God and think he gave that girl his number.
It's not even like that.
Of course it is. I mean, why do you think the first thing they do to a baby when it comes out the womb is cut the cord? You know why? Because a man has to be free. He's gotta roam the earth. I mean, the way I figured, if I give you the number, bang, right back in the womb. You're laughing because you know it's true.
What am I gonna do with you?
So,
Let's see something. What up, y'all?
Nice to meet you. Maybe we can help each other out.
Undercover informant. Your record is impressive. Welcome to the team. Exactly how much danger is this job?
Let's see.
At the time, it was the biggest building ever built. From that moment forward, this structure stood as a monument to American strength, power, and cherished American freedom. Exactly 6 decades later, on September 11th, 2001, those same walls, built with the sweat and muscle, blood of our parents and grandparents, were scarred by flame and shaken by terror as our country came face to face with
Let's see.
Tonight, Colorado authorities identifying 16-year-old Desmond
Damn.
Hawley as a student who opened fire at Evergreen High School.
Damn,
with a
16-year-old?
revolver. Investigators did not say where the shooter got the gun, but said he was radicalized by an extremist network.
He tried to find new targets, and he came up against a roadblock on many of those doors. He couldn't get to those kids.
They say he continued to reload as he shot out windows and at lockers. Tonight, officials say 2 students remain in critical condition. Authorities say they have obtained search warrants for his home, phone, and locker, and add that his parents are cooperating with the investigation.
And those teachers and those students did their job and took into account what they've learned, and it kept them safe.
Investigators say the motive for the shooting remains unclear. Because of the significant cleanup, Evergreen High will remain closed this week.
All right, Dana joins us now live. Dana, it's no secret a lot of America's on edge right now, and there were threats at other schools today?
That's right, Tom. Earlier at the University of Massachusetts, some students there evacuating as law enforcement responded to reports of a shooting. And as Gabe mentioned earlier, several historically black colleges and universities were forced to go on lockdown today after threats toward those campuses. Authorities say none of the threats were deemed credible. Tom?
All right, Dana Griffin for us. Dana, thank you. We turn now to an update in the Epstein files. As the battle to make more Epstein documents public rages on, Bloomberg News has obtained thousands of Jeffrey Epstein's personal emails.
He said, let the emails go.
How close he was to Ghislaine Maxwell, including discussions for the two to undergo fertility treatment. Here's Hallie Jackson.
New insight tonight into the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell from a trove of purported emails, more than 18,000 published by Bloomberg News, which suggests Maxwell and Epstein were closer in many respects than either publicly
What's up?
admitted. In her July interview with the Deputy Attorney General, Maxwell, Epstein's convicted co-conspirator, recounts asking Epstein about the initial investigation into him.
He said, I not to worry. She didn't say, he didn't share. I wasn't part of it, actually.
The Bloomberg report suggests she counseled Epstein after that. At one point, he asked her advice on what charge to negotiate in his 2008 plea agreement. I suppose lewd and lascivious conduct, she responded. NBC News has not independently obtained or verified the emails. Bloomberg says they were authenticated using cryptographic and metadata analysis and corroboration with external sources. The outlet says one email included a detailed spreadsheet of 2,000 gifts and payments, like, quote, lingerie and chocolates, some for teenage girls who later lodged sexual abuse complaints. Except for 3 minor instances, Bloomberg says the emails do not otherwise mention President Trump, who has said his relationship with Epstein ended in the early 2000s. The White House calling it, in part, stupid fake news. Maxwell's attorney has not responded to NBC's request for comment. And for the first time, revelations Maxwell and Epstein were going through a fertility treatment together, according to Bloomberg, years after she said they broke up. In 2005, Bloomberg says Maxwell emailed Epstein detailed instructions on a sperm donation, adding, "You can do the sample at home." And tonight, fallout internationally, with the British Prime Minister firing the UK ambassador to the US because they say these newly released emails show that the extent of his relationship with Epstein was greater than previously known. Tom.
All right, Hallie Jackson for us. In 60 seconds, why this classroom burst into cheers. A boy we introduced you to right here on Nightly News just got the call of his lifetime. He was approved for a life-changing treatment. The big update when we come back. Now to our series, The Cost of Denial. Tonight we have a major update to a story about 2 brothers, both with a debilitating genetic disorder. One approved for a treatment that could help, the other denied. Maggie Vespa now with what happened shortly after our story aired.
2 brothers battling the same devastating disease just want the same medicine. It's why 9-year-old Noah Small on the right pleaded 10-year-old Hunter's case to the family's insurance company, mailing this letter last week.
You have a copy of the letter here. Would you mind reading it to me?
Yeah. Dear Blue Cross Blue Shield Federal.
Not kids talking about health insurance. That's crazy. Come on now.
Gene therapy in March. Now I'm able to swim and learn how to ride my bike. At recess, I could be more active and score touchdowns.
Growing up outside Chicago with their oldest brother Carter and parents William and Allison, Noah and Hunter both suffer from Duchenne muscular dystrophy, or DMD, a rare genetic disorder that progressively attacks a person's muscles, leaving most children wheelchair-bound by age 12 with an average life expectancy under 30.
Damn.
You can already see the effects on Hunter's legs, his larger calves
Whoa.
layered with scar
Whoa.
How does it make you feel?
What the hell?
Makes you feel tired a lot?
Damn, they're like muscle for real.
Last month, Nightly News spoke with the family about their efforts to get Elevidys, a one-time dose gene
Oh, yeah, them kids need
therapy
some
that's
help.
shown to slow DMD's progress. The cost, $3.2 million. Noah was approved for coverage, receiving the treatment earlier this year. Doctors initially hesitated with Hunter to make sure his heart, which had been impacted by DMD, was strong enough. They soon signed off. But when we first met the family,
Your insurance
And
company is
see,
denying
I ain't
one
gonna say
son,
that.
correct? The same treatment your other son
Healthcare,
received.
healthcare,
It seems to be
healthcare,
running
healthcare.
after Friday. Yes.
Come on, we need to get better.
their insurer, Blue Cross Blue Shield's federal employee program, denied coverage
I
for
think we need to
Hunter
give away free
twice.
healthcare, y'all. What y'all
Blue Cross Blue
think?
Shield declined
Free
to discuss
healthcare in
a
America?
specific case citing patient privacy,
It'll
saying
stop a whole
its
lot of
decisions
this.
are guided by nationwide best
nonsense.
practices for care, helping to identify what has proven successful for members in the past. 2 weeks after our initial story, we followed the brothers back to school where, because their legs tire easily, they use elevators and scooters. Their fellow classmates launched a letter writing campaign to get Hunter the treatment.
They have very strong opinions. Just, I'm not happy about this. This doesn't sound right. I think we should revisit this.
And today, the principal had news for them.
We're happy to announce that Hunter did get approved.
Yay!
The family saying after filing yet another appeal, Blue Cross Blue Shield told them this week Hunter's treatment had been approved. The news still setting in for Hunter.
You're getting the medicine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah.
His parents now scrambling to schedule his gene therapy appointment as soon as possible, grateful for the groundswell.
I even had somebody stop at our door the other day, said, I saw the piece on NBC. I have ideas for you.
And I think it really shows the good in the world. I will say that every little bit does, you can make a difference.
It's going to give them a better quality of life.
How y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing?
So that's why we fought so hard.
Now getting the same fighting chance. Maggie, NBC News, Winnetka, Illinois.
And we are so happy Hunter and I are getting coverage. We're back in a moment with the highway disaster. Several people killed, nearly 100 hurt after an oil tanker exploded. What happened? That's next.
Damn.
We're back now with a critical moment for democracy in South America. Former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has been convicted and sentenced to more than 27 years in prison by Brazil's Supreme Court for plotting. It happened after the truck flipped over. All right, when we come back, remember how 3 members of the FDNY are carrying on their father's legacies. Stay with us.
24 years. Moment of silence.
It has been a tense 24 hours for the nation. A political assassination, a school shooting, scares on campus. All as we mark 24 years since the 9/11 attacks.
Damn.
So I wanted to leave you with a story of hope. A new generation of heroes, inspired by the brave Americans of September 11th. Here's Sam Brock.
For a second today, time stood still. As a nation,
I was like 21, 22 years old when that happened.
and the bravery of those
24 years ago?
from Lower Manhattan to
21. I was 21. I was 21 years old when that happened, guys.
where President Trump
I was
attended
21
ceremony at the Pentagon.
when 9/11
And
happened.
for 3 members of the FDNY, all sons of fallen firefighters.
That was a long time
It's
ago.
painful.
Well, we, as a department, have that slogan of never forget, right? And it's not just.
I can remember like it was
never forget the guys,
yesterday.
it's never forget the actions that they took. Never forget what they did that day.
Battalion Chief Chris Gansey, Lieutenant Chris Mascali, and firefighter Scott Larson all upended after their fathers tried to rescue victims in the rubble or in the towers.
I do remember being at my grandparents' house and just, like, he was supposed to come home that night. It was about 5, 6, 7 o'clock, and, you know, everyone was starting to see, like, the writing on the wall, and it was a very emotional day for me.
My 13-year-old keeps asking me, she goes, I can't believe he did that. And it's funny because now we're all in a job and we're like, no, I absolutely can believe that he did that. Like, this is what we do. Like, we don't leave our guys, we stay. And he stayed.
For Mascali, the loss proved a call to action.
I go to work each day and I hold myself accountable because I know he would hold me accountable, right? And it's to serve and to be a part of this department.
We asked the trio about lessons for younger generations.
What I would say to them is, look at what happened in the days after 9/11, and look at how the United States and the country surrounded each other.
Would be a pretty good lesson for right now, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
New York strong.
At the end of the day.
A shared humanity they say we should always remember, especially now. Sam Brock, NBC News, New York.
The next generation of New York's bravest. Our thanks to Sam Brock for that story, and we thank you for watching Nightly News on this Thursday. I'm Tom Yamas. Tonight, and always, we're here for you. Good night.
Good night. Good night, Tom Yamas. Let's see what's next. Let's see what they're gonna talk about.
Meals like this, packed with whole grain.
I appreciate y'all for hanging out, watching the news for me tonight. Watching some news with me tonight. I know we hate to watch the news, all this negative stuff we see.
This is an execution. He may have hired somebody to do it.
Is cut in half if they don't get relief.
In 24 hours, 48 hours, 10 hours.
First 48 hours. The iconic show is now a 24/7 channel.
This is scary.
else will die.
The first 48 by
On the
80.
first 48.
If these waters could talk, they'd say there's a wild inside. Come on in and taste its wildness. They'd invite us to get steeped in the wild ways of the
Nightly
natural world,
news.
and to leave this planet just like we found it. The thing is, these waters do talk. And if you listen carefully, you can hear them say, go wild. Wild caught, wild enjoyed, wild planet.
Ready?
Ready.
Let's go. Conquest awaits.
The International Space Station crew did all sorts of science experiments, things I never thought I would get to do again from my previous missions, as well as a couple spacewalks.
Now back on Earth and sharing her love of life beyond this planet.
Happy to be back here on Earth. I do miss my home away from home up in space.
If you want to hear more from Sunny, she's slated to speak at the Great Lakes Science Center on Friday at 11 a.m. That event is free and open to the public and is all part of Discovery Days and Ohio Space Week. At NASA Glen, Clay Lepard, News 5.
All right, we talk weather with meteorologist Katie McGraw now, but we also talk space.
Yes.
What did you do tonight?
Why you look like Sam Champion?
Saw the International Space Station. I did. And it's not the first time I'm kind of a nerd about it. I took pictures, but I'm not a photographer, I'll be honest. So I did. I can show you. They're just not very good. They're really not worth it. But clear skies was right on time. It was a go. Also, showing off my non-photography skills. Yeah, that's not video though. This was during my walk with Lucy today. You see what I see?
I see.
Now leave.
It's changing.
Yes. And so this is like 10 leaves that have started to change, but it caught my eye because I didn't notice them yesterday. They might have been there, but as we move throughout the next few weeks, of course, we're going to start to see some more of those changes. I'm going to talk about droughts effects on fall foliage. I'll open this in a second. But first things first, out the door right now, we're at 60 degrees in Cleveland, 59 in Akron, Canton, 53 in Ashtabula, 60 down in New Philadelphia. In the next few hours here, temperatures expected to continue to drop, low 50s for a lot of us. Mostly clear conditions, light winds out of the north at about 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, temperatures climbing back to where they were earlier today. Upper 70s, low 80s. Out the door, it's cool. It warms.
It warms.
They help you work more efficiently. So you can focus on the bigger things. Not so little anymore.
You already know.
Your partner for smart business buying.
Watch free national and local news on Prime
Let's
Video.
go.
The newsmakers right here facing all the tough questions.
We've got you covered every step of the way.
We are living in an extraordinary period.
From changing skies to market shifts.
Around the world, this is BBC News.
Covering all the stories that matter to you. Your news, your app.
Let's see what we can see. Let's see. What y'all got going on tonight, man? What's a little news? Let's see what Lindsay talking about. Let's see what Lindsay talking about. We're losing them. We're losing them. We're losing them. We'll get them back. It don't want to work. We back. Make sure y'all double tap that screen.
Bolt action rifle they believe was used in the shooting. The massive reward now being offered for information for the killer. It comes as tributes pour in for Charlie Kirk. The president saying he will award Kirk the Medal of Freedom, one of the high.
Medal of Freedom. Not the Medal of Freedom. Technical difficulties. You gotta reload. Let's reload. Let's get it. Rest in peace, Charles. Rest in peace, Charlie. Kirk. You gone too soon? I wish I got to meet you. What's good, Sco? I'm drinking lean. You drinking some lean? Ah, shit. You ain't sharing the lean, man? You ain't sharing the lean? You gotta share the lean, man. Let me get a little bit of lean, man, so I can go to sleep. Nah. Get some good lean, go to sleep. Alright, let's turn it back on. I poured a 4 in the for sure. Damn, boy, you pouring a 4 of them? Jeez. You gonna be zooted. Don't burn yourself with no cigarettes or nothing tonight. You know how it is. You on that lean and like some plans, you be burnt the hole in your stuff. Don't burn a hole in your shirt tonight. Nah, enough over there. Dang. Jeez Louise. A whole 4? You ain't pull no more? Supposed to share the link. What color? Haha, alright, fam.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, how he'll remember Charlie
That's
Kirk
what's up.
and his reflections on the growing wave of political violence gripping the
For
nation.
sure.
But we begin tonight with Morgan Chesky on the ground in Utah.
Tonight, the massive manhunt. The FBI releasing these images of a person of interest in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, offering a $100,000 reward for information, revealing they've now found
100,000? Oh, we need to find him.
High-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled.
And more potential critical evidence near the crime scene.
Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print,
Converse.
and forearm imprints for analysis.
President Trump, late today.
I hear they're making big progress.
And we're getting new information about the grid timeline. Investigators say the shooter arrived on Utah Valley University's campus at 11:52 a.m. We spoke to Utah DPS Commissioner Bo Mason.
We know what time the gunman arrived on campus. Do we know if he had the rifle with him when he did?
He probably had it up there already.
We believe he did. We believe it was with him the entire time, concealed.
Authorities say surveillance video captures him climbing stairwells to the top of a building, then moving across its roof to the shooting location, which was roughly 175 yards away from the stage.
Damn, that was close.
Easy access.
It is very accessible.
Damn, that was
Access
close.
unlocked.
Fuck.
Not even doors. There's open pathways with railings that you stand over.
So there's somebody on the roof right there?
This video appearing to catch a glimpse of a figure dressed in black up on top of that very roof. Then Kirk arrives for the event, throwing hats to a cheering crowd before taking audience questions under a tent. Around 12 p.m., he was answering a question about mass shootings.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
counting or not counting gang violence. The video
Dang.
too disturbing to show. 3,000 people in the crowd.
Oh, I got it. I got it on my phone. Oh, I got it. It was crazy.
In a black SUV.
I got the video.
Appears to show someone up on that roof running away.
Amid the chaos
That shit
of
was
that
nasty.
fatal shot, authorities say the gunman then jumped off a building, making his way off this campus into a nearby neighborhood.
Brandon Russin was close to the stage.
All of a sudden, my heart just dropped to my stomach, and I knew after seeing the graphic nature of that shot, that it was real, that Charlie had been shot.
After diving to the ground, he texted his wife. What do you say?
The most important words I can say: I love you.
All right, with that, Morgan Chesky joins us tonight from the scene in Utah. Morgan, there's been a lot of confusion with getting the news alerts tonight to our phones here. And now officials are telling the public there are rapid developments in the investigation. What do we know?
Yeah, Tom, that is what we're still awaiting. It was a press conference that was scheduled for earlier today, but authorities came out, said that there had been rapid developments, and then that press conference was postponed. So as we're still awaiting to hear what those developments may be, Commissioner Mason telling me that when he watched that surveillance footage of the suspect entering campus, he said it appeared that he was very comfortable walking around almost as if he was familiar with the area. Not only that, but when that gunman fired that fatal shot atop that rooftop, authorities say that it appears that they had some sort of face covering on that would conceal their identity. Tom?
Okay, Morgan Chesky, with that new reporting that you just heard right there, Morgan, we thank you. In Washington, Kirk's assassination has shaken leaders on both sides of the aisle, with tributes pouring in tonight. And now there are growing concerns about security for all political figures, with threats rising dramatically just this year. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has the late details.
At the Pentagon, honoring today's 9/11 anniversary, President Trump announcing he posthumously award Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Charlie was a giant of his generation.
Vice President Vance landing late today in Utah to see Kirk's family. The president speaking with Kirk's wife Erica by phone.
And we had a long talk, and she's devastated.
Of course.
Suggesting he knows the motive.
I have an indication, yeah, but we'll let you know about that later.
The 31-year-old conservative star remembered tonight for rallying young voters and encouraging open debate, often taking questions from Democrats on campus.
Do you think gun ownership is a privilege or a right?
I think it is a privilege.
That's where we disagree.
Donald Trump Jr. was a close friend.
You could just relate to people, even his biggest
They're like
detractors.
brothers.
I mean, on a daily basis, Charlie Kirk gave them a platform to debate these ideas.
The president now blaming what he calls the radical left.
For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today.
But threats against high-profile figures from both parties are on the rise. Capitol Police telling NBC News its agents are on track to work through roughly 14,000 threat cases this year alone, which would be a 48% increase from 2024. In just over a year, there have been 2 attempts on President Trump's life. A Democratic state lawmaker and her husband were murdered in Minnesota, and the residence of Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro was firebombed.
The assassination of Charlie Kirk risks an uncorking of political chaos and violence that we cannot risk in America.
All right, Gabe Gutierrez joins us tonight from the White House. Gabe, we got a couple questions for you. Let's start with the string of threats across the country today, because some people may have heard about the DNC as well.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. Look, there's a heightened state of alert really across the country. So many people on edge. And throughout the day, there was a string of threats to HBCUs and the DNC headquarters that forced lockdowns. Tom?
Yeah, and then before you go, I know you're getting some new reporting about the funeral arrangements for Charlie Kirk. What do we know?
Yeah, that's right. 3 sources familiar with the planning tell NBC News that Vice President Vance will fly Kirk's family in his casket aboard Air Force 2 to Arizona. And just a short time ago, right here at the White House, President Trump told reporters that he does plan to attend Kirk's funeral, and he believes will be next week in Arizona, Tom.
Okay, Gabe Gutierrez with those new details here. Gabe, we thank you. Tonight here on Top Story, we are joined by former Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Speaker, thank you so much for being here. I know you knew Charlie Kirk. You had a relationship with him. Can you tell us about the Charlie Kirk you knew?
He was always an optimist. And if you thought about this, I met him like 10 years ago, just starting Turning Point. It was like a dream. And I met him because he was helping students run for student body president. It wasn't that you had to just be a Republican. And it was amazing. We'd bring him to Washington, D.C. I thought these would be future members of Congress. But what drove Charlie was he loved the debate, the policy.
The back and forth.
But he respected the other side. If you watched what he would do, and this is something you've got to think about for a moment. In America, we believe debate should happen in colleges, right? But this wasn't like he went to a college just to speak to people who he agreed with. If you disagreed with him, you got to go to the front of the line. He would tell his supporters, be quiet, let's show them respect. And he'd have a respectful debate. We disagree. I think guns are right. He'd go back and forth. Would it be an abortion, be whatever it is, and he'd have that conversation with you. And if at sometimes he thought, I'm wrong about this. And look, he loved his faith, he loved his wife, he loved his children. This is a person that didn't walk up and disagree with them. This is an assassination that thought about it, that planned it, that's now on the run, how to get out of it, and had to have training to shoot almost 200 yards to hit him like that.
What up, Bruce?
He's
Bruce?
not elected either.
Right, yeah, no, I know.
He could have been elected, he could have served in the cabinet, but he's more of a cause, of a passion, of something bigger than himself.
Yeah, are you concerned talking about, 200 yards away, this person looks like they had planned this pretty well. They still haven't been caught. They're out there. There's one surveillance image they've been circulating. You worry that they're gonna catch this guy or not?
They're gonna catch him.
People know who that person is. Look at that picture. You know that shirt. This person has to be a good shooter. Probably had to be trained or a shooter.
Or a hunter,
Yes. And to be able to plan that, think about that. He took that shot so far away through all those people and hit right where he needed to hit. And then from the same standpoint, he was able to escape.
Yeah.
That has to be some sophistication in planning. And did he shoot when that question, how would you know that question arose at the same time? That's information we gotta know.
It's eerily similar to what happened.
Hey,
to
homie,
President
hope
Trump
you're
in Buffalo.
good. Yeah, I'm
Somebody
good.
climb up to
How
a
you
roof
doing? How you doing,
when
Izzy? How you doing,
dressed
Izzy?
in dark clothing, people see them on the roof and then still able to pull off the assassination. In the president's case, he did not die, but came inches from death, and Corey Compatore unfortunately lost his life there. I do want to ask you, you're somebody who's in the public eye. You were the Speaker of the House of Representatives. You know what it's like.
I need like a $5-10 donation. Anybody gonna donate
As I
tonight?
mentioned, Charlie Kirk, and I made this
Donate to
point
my
yesterday
son for
live.
tomorrow?
He wasn't elected, never ran for office. He was a political activist. He had his enemies, right? But he had a lot of supporters, and he was in a friendly environment there. Where does politics go? Where does campaigning, pressing that flesh, getting to see
Let's get some
people
Cash App
are
donations
interested
tonight,
up
guys.
close?
Cash App.
Will that all change now?
Well, that's a question for the country. Because if you think about this, I was looking back and I was literally listening to RFK announce to a crowd that Martin Luther King was killed. And he literally asked this question: what type of nation are we? And how do we move forward? That was in the 60s we watched this happen. But that was against elected officials, leaders. Charlie was a leader. If they thought they were going to kill him all, this is going to plant many more out there of Charlie's movement to grow. But what we need to have here, there's got to stop. We've watched this happen. President Trump came less than a quarter inch of dying the same part. He's watching this. This is like a son to him and thinking, same thing happened to him. We watched elected officials get killed in Minnesota. We've watched this happen time and again. The only way we are going to cure this is individuals of the nation itself.
You have a little bit more freedom now because you aren't in political office.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of some of sort of the outrage, the things being said right now on both sides about what happened to Charlie? Is it getting to a level where it's getting dangerous again, where we may almost repeat what we just saw?
We watch on social media people celebrating it. What's that going to do to somebody on the other side? You and I are talking about this, but I'm telling you who's going to affect it the most. If you go and listen to children 14 to 25, Charlie was someone they got a lot of information from, whether they support him or not.
Right.
They like the Bill of Jake. They think they can be safe at a school and literally have a debate. They're going to be afraid from that standpoint. But is someone going to come back and say, I need to pay you back for what you're doing and others? That's the fear I have going.
What would you tell President Trump right now? What should his message be to the country?
Well, I mean, I like the idea of making sure this doesn't happen again, but I'm looking at President Trump and I'm thinking, emotionally, how does he go through this? This is like a son to him. And at the same moment, how does he not have the emotion that was exactly what happened to him? And he could have ended up just like Charlie had he not turned his head that 1 second. You know? I look at it too, where I watched members on the House floor argue over praying. This is what I want you to think about Charlie, not elected. But if you asked him what he wanted to be known for, a father, a husband, and a person who believed in faith. And why would this, if this person disagreed with him so much, Charlie would allow him to be the first person in the line to use words instead of use a gun against him. This is why this is so devastating. This really looks back to the 1960s in America, and it takes all of us. It doesn't sit and say, oh, somebody elected or not. As a nation,
And it's happened in Minnesota, it's Democrats,
Everywhere.
Pennsylvania, everywhere, Republicans, Democrats. Speaker, thank you for being here. We thank you for sharing your thoughts and your memories of Charlie.
Thank you.
All right, political violence, as we were just discussing, they're also the top of mind in Florida tonight, where the man accused of trying to assassinate President Trump at his golf club in Florida is on trial in opening statements. Prosecutors revealing Ryan Ruth, armed with a rifle, allegedly got much closer to the president than was previously believed. NBC's Jesse Kirk was inside the courtroom.
Defending himself, today Ryan Ruth came face to face with the former Secret Service agent who spotted him in a sniper hide, allegedly waiting to assassinate President Trump. Robert Furcano revealing that while then candidate Trump played golf in South Florida last September, Ruth was closer to the Republican presidential nominee than previously known, just 1 hole away. Furcano testifying he spotted Ruth and a rifle barrel pointed directly at my face, testifying I feared for the life of the president. Furcano says that's when he fired at Ruth, who did not shoot back. Then Ruth questioned Furcano, who prosecutors credit with saving the president's life. Is it good to be alive? Asked the defendant. Furcano responding, yes, it feels good to be alive. Straight back. Prosecutors say Ruth fled the scene, but not before witness Tommy McGee spotted him driving off. As Ruth cross-examined McGee, the questioning quickly went off the rails. At one point, Ruth gave McGee a thumbs up, saying, you're the man, good job.
Okay, with that, Jesse Kirk joins us tonight from outside that courthouse in Florida. Jesse, some strange moments there. Ruth got off to a strange start, as we saw in your report there in opening statements, too. Talk to us about what he said.
Yeah, Tom, it was bizarre pretty much out of the gate. He was talking about in his opening statements, Hitler, Putin, Iran, Israel, not the facts of the case. The judge admonishing him at one point, asking the jury to leave and then come back in. He was supposed to have roughly 40 minutes for his opening statement, but Judge Eileen Cannon cut him off after only about 5 minutes. Tom.
Okay, Jesse Kirk on day 1 of that trial. Jesse, thank you. Now to the new details of the Colorado school shooting that left 2 students in critical condition and the gunman dead. Authorities revealing the shooter was radicalized by an extremist network, and a reminder, he was only 16 years old. NBC's David Griffin has this report.
Tonight, Colorado authorities identifying 16-year-old Desmond Hawley as the student who opened fire at Evergreen High School using a revolver. Investigators did not say where the shooter got the gun, but said he was radicalized by an extremist network.
They tried to find new targets, and he came up against a roadblock on many of those doors. He couldn't get to those kids.
They say he continued to reload as he shot out windows and at lockers. Tonight, officials say 2 students remain in critical condition. Authorities say they have obtained search warrants for his home, phone, and locker, and add that his parents are cooperating with the investigation.
And those teachers and those students did their job and took into account what they've learned, and it kept them safe.
Investigators say the motive for the shooting remains unclear. Because of the significant cleanup, Evergreen High will remain closed this week.
Dana Griffin joins us tonight from Los Angeles. And Dana, a lot of America is on edge. That's not a secret. And we saw that throughout the country today with some threats.
Yeah, so many threats across the country today, Tom. Even earlier at the University of Massachusetts, some students there evacuating as law enforcement responded to reports of a shooting. Meanwhile, several historically black colleges and universities were forced to go on lockdown today after threats toward those campuses. Authorities say none of the threats, however, were deemed credible. Tom?
Okay, Dana Griffin first. Dana, great to have you in the broadcast tonight. When Top Story returns, why this classroom near Chicago burst into cheers, the 10-year-old boy we first introduced you to in our Cost of Denial series just received a call of a lifetime. He was approved for a potentially life-changing treatment. The big update just ahead. Plus, a new treasure trove of Jeffrey Epstein emails allegedly revealing he was far closer to his convicted accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell than anyone previously knew. And total destruction. Several people killed, nearly 100 hurt after an oil tanker exploded under an overpass in Mexico. Don't go away.
I want St. Denis to be a world-renowned hospital. This is my vision.
Is that the Nakatomi Plaza from Die Hard?
The VIP suite is going to be a big draw. It's like cool mayonnaise to the touch.
Even excellent surgeons have bad outcomes sometimes.
That's not going to happen here.
But it could.
But it won't.
But it might.
But it's chance.
Shan't?
It works.
St. Denis Medical, all episodes streaming now. Watch NBC on Peacock.
This river wasn't dammed in a day. And GMC trucks weren't built overnight. Like every American achievement, they are
What's
a
up, guys?
result of dedication. Over 100 years.
Quandale Dingleberry, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Move this country forward. Current eligible GMC owners get 0%.
Y'all hit them likes, y'all.
Value of over
Time is
20,000 on this Sierra 1500.
it's 12:22.
20% below MSRP.
What you gonna do?
We are back now with our Cost of Denial series and the life-changing update to a story we brought you a few weeks ago. One suburban Chicago community
we've
fighting
seen that
for
earlier.
brothers with the same debilitating genetic disorder. One approved for a game-changing treatment, the other denied. Tonight, Maggie Vespa shows us how their community rallied to give both brothers a chance to beat the odds.
Two brothers battling the same devastating disease.
Two
just
brothers
want the
pizza.
same medicine. It's why 9-year-old Noah Small on the right pleaded 10-year-old Hunter's case.
Yeah, I appreciate all 80. I got 81 people in my chat tonight. Hold on, wait a minute. I got 81 people in here. What the heck is going on?
Yeah. Dear Blue Cross Blue Shield
81 people watching my channel
I
at
write
one
to
time.
ask you to accept my
Yo,
brother Hunter for gene therapy.
yo,
I received gene
get out of
therapy in
here. I
March.
didn't
Now
see
I'm
that
able
there.
to swim and learn how to ride my bike. At recess, I can be
Dang,
more
if I got all
active
81 of y'all
and
subscribed, I'd be like,
Growing up
close to
outside Chicago
500,
with their
5,000
oldest brother
subscribers.
Carter and parents William and Allison, Noah and Hunter both
I'd be close
suffer
to my
from Duchenne
5,000
muscular
subs.
dystrophy, or DMD, a rare genetic
I
disorder
lost
that
two.
progressively attacks a person's muscles, leaving most children wheelchair-bound by age 12 with an average life
I
expectancy
think I'm gonna stay on until I fall
30.
asleep.
You can
So if y'all hear me
already see the
snoring,
effects
y'all know
on
what
Hunter's
happened.
legs, his larger calves,
Look at this
layered
calves.
scar
One
tissue.
leg bigger than the other.
How does it make you feel?
I seen a man at a veterans hospital the other day. I seen a veteran with his legs like that. One of his legs is bigger than the other.
News spoke with the family
Dang, I
about
actually
their
seen
efforts
somebody
to
in real
get
life like that
Olympics, a
too.
one-time dose gene therapy that has been
The
shown
other
to
day.
slow DMD's progress. The cost, $3.2 million. Noah was approved.
He's about
for
70
coverage,
years
received
old.
the treatment
One of
earlier
his legs
this
is bigger
year.
than the other.
Doctors initially
Like
hesitated
Popeye.
for
One of them like
Hunter
big
to
like
make sure his
Popeye.
heart, which had been
For
impacted
real.
by
His other leg was
DMD,
slim.
was strong
I said,
enough.
whoa.
They soon signed off. But when
And one of his shoes, he had one of his shoes like cut open or something.
The same treatment your other son has received and seems to be thriving after receiving.
Yes. It's baffling.
Their insurer, Blue Cross Blue Shield's federal employee program,
Insurance.
denied
We
coverage
need
for
free health
Hunter
insurance in the
once.
United States.
Blue Cross Blue Shield declined to discuss the specific case, citing patient privacy.
I go to the
saying
doctor
its
tomorrow with some free
decisions are
health care.
guided by nationwide best practices for care, helping to identify what has proven successful for members in the past. 2 weeks after our initial story, we followed the brothers back to school where, because their legs tire easily, they use elevators and scooters. Their fellow classmates launched a letter writing campaign to get Hunter the treatment.
They have very strong opinions. Just, I'm not happy about this. This doesn't sound right. I think we should revisit this.
And today, the principal had news for them.
What's up, guys?
the family, saying after filing yet another appeal, Blue Cross Blue Shield
All right.
told them this week
That's what y'all see
Hunter's
before a second.
treatment had been approved. The news still setting in for Hunter.
You're getting the medicine?
Yay.
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah. Don't act like
His
it, but he
parents
is.
now scrambling to schedule his gene therapy appointment as soon as possible. Grateful for the groundswell.
I even had somebody stop at our door the other day, said, I saw the piece on NBC. I have ideas for you.
And I think it really shows the
What
good
kind of
in the
ideas?
world, and I will say that every little bit does, you can make a difference.
It's going to give them a better quality of life for a longer period of time. So that's why we fought so hard.
Two brothers with a village behind them now getting the same fighting chance. Maggie Vespa, NBC News, Winnetka, Illinois.
I was wondering why they walked like that earlier.
We thank Maggie for that story. Still ahead on Top Story, hundreds of South Korean nationals detained in that massive ice raid at a Hyundai plant
What?
in Georgia.
Whoa.
Finally headed home. The arrest caused South Korea to rethink its economic investments in the U.S.
We don't want no problems.
The media world is Paramount Skydance on the
We don't want no problems.
of Warner Brothers Discovery and what it could mean for consumers. But first, Top Story's top moment and a reunion between dog and owner 13 months in the making. After little Peach went missing from her home in San
That's an
Francisco
ugly dog.
a year ago, her family did everything they could to find her, but had accepted she was gone forever. Until local police spotted her and were able to track down her family thanks to a microchip. Here's the moment they were all finally reunited.
Let's see this. This is heartfelt. I love it. That's a fat little chihuahua or something. That's a fat chihuahua. Your Cuervo Taco Bell, like you ate a little Taco Bell. Let's take a blink on that.
I don't know who's smiling more, the dog or little James there. What a great moment. All right, stay with us. More news on the way.
Let's go.
Chevy makes America's most dependable trucks. Like the rugged Colorado, the highly capable Silverado 1500, the powerful
That's what I get.
Silverado HD, and the uncompromising Silverado EV. In every Chevy truck, dependability comes
Little
standard.
nightcap.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on Silverado 1500 models.
What up, Quandale?
Together, let's drive.
Dang, yeah, we might get like 500 views tonight. I might got like 500 views tonight.
When a young homeowner starts to turn into their
We're
parent,
going
they
for a
don't
record.
show them just how bad it can get. So they just hang out here, naked.
I'm not gonna turn off the live yet. We got some people in here still.
Believe it or not, she's made progress. Really? They don't have change loans here? No, they do.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
Why is he eating his lunch in here? You're asking the right questions.
Disguises are so much fun. Unless
Oh, it's almost Halloween, guys.
chicken meal, that's icky birdie bits processed into powder.
Bird.
It's time for Fresh Pet. Wholesome ingredients with nothing to hide. Fresh Pet.
There's been a steady uptick in crime. This is the time when the best show what they're made of.
We're back.
We are back now with the latest on the investigation to the shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. We want to walk you through what we know at this moment and show you the evidence.
All right, let's watch this one more time.
And joining me now on
Rest in
set
peace,
is
Charlie
retired
Kirk.
NYPD Lieutenant Darren Porcher. Darren, thanks so much for joining us on Top Story tonight. I know you've seen some of this. First, let's start with the surveillance image, right, that the FBI has released. They're asking the public to take a good look at this, look at the man's face, to look at what he's wearing, to see if anything strikes any kind of chord that can lead people to an arrest. When you see these images, tell us what you as a professional see that maybe we don't.
Sure, the first thing that I think of is the public is our greatest resource in law enforcement. And so when we
Get a good look.
facial recognition, we're going to use something referred to as crowdsourcing. When we go back to the Boston Marathon bombing, that's when crowdsourcing facial recognition was used.
Mhm.
We're going to expand that information. And with the crowdsourcing facial recognition,
That's one of the
what it
best
does,
tools they
it
got out.
goes through faces all throughout the internet. This is germane for us as law enforcement and trying to capture.
With that being said, he's gonna get caught, y'all. I give about 2 more days. Either gonna find him
What do you notice?
live.
It's quite grainy, but what's the uniqueness of this is this appears to be a U.S. flag.
Two. They're gonna back him in the corner.
This is an individual that possibly perceives himself as
And
being
capture him.
and doing something that's honorable. This is clearly
So he can have his day in court.
act that he committed.
That's what we want.
Black sunglasses, the hat, anything else there for us?
His family needs closure. Family needs closure.
Mask his appearance, but at the same token fit into the common society because he's wearing the sunglasses, he's wearing a hat. But at the same token, we still are able to triangulate as it relates to
Triangulate that hat, that triangle on the hat.
Every time I touch it though, just so you know, it's gonna change, it's all right. Yeah. Okay, no, we appreciate that. I wanna talk about the map now. I mean, this, you know, and Speaker McCarthy was on, I don't know about a long distance shooting. This seems like a difficult shot. 200 yards. He's
I mean, not if you train. If you're a trained soldier, or you're a hunter. No, I mean that's not a hard shot. I could probably hit something from 200 yards away with a nice scope on it. You know what I mean?
From 200 yards away.
It's not difficult with a rifle and a scope.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not difficult, but we don't know if he used a scope.
Yeah.
Man, he definitely used a scope.
The early 1960s,
He definitely used a scope.
On the University of Texas at the clock tower. He had a bolt-action rifle, and he shot people from distances that are very similar to this, and he didn't have a scope. He didn't have a bipod, he didn't have a tripod, and he had a series of headshots as a result. So we have strikingly similar comparisons shooting from this area on the top of this roof. As you mentioned, what happened with the failed assassination attempt as it relates to Trump, we have stark similarities because we have an assailant at the top of a roof that was unsecured.
So here, talking about why the assassin picked this point, he's up here, he's dressed in black. Some people noticed him. There's a social media video. You saw the reports saying, hey, there's
Hey, is that a dude on the roof? Man, that's crazy. I mean, they might have thought, I don't know what they thought.
This was a perfect vantage point because there was a direct line of sight to where Charlie Kirk was located. And this is a premeditated attack because he only fired one time and he was able to hit
One
Charlie
shot,
in the neck.
one kill.
And after he fired that one shot, he didn't continue reloading. He was comfortable and confident in his ability that he struck Charlie Kirk because we saw Charlie Kirk fall backwards, and that's when he made his escape.
Do you think he knew that he struck him? I mean, saying that it's like you said, maybe he doesn't have a scope. If he didn't have a scope, do you think he would have known from that distance that he was, you know, he had hit his target?
I believe he did. When we think of 200 yards, we think of 2 football fields. With the naked eye, you can see 2 football fields away. And Charlie Kirk was in a position where, although he had the fortification of his personal security, you can see where he was seated.
Yeah.
So it makes all the sense in the world that he saw Charlie Kirk fall back. In addition to that, you had the crowd that reacted. So he genuinely believed that he was successful in his attack.
Yeah. And as we move on here, you talked about the high-powered bolt-action rifle. It was recovered in a wooded area. It's being analyzed by the FBI. This is interesting, right? Because he hasn't made so far that we know, we may learn more later, too many mistakes. But he had a ditch the gun somewhere. Why do you think
The guy at? I wonder where he at too. He's probably right there. He's probably right back on campus. He's probably on that campus somewhere in the room. He might be a student of the school, you know what I mean? He might be a student.
But as it relates to
He in his dorm room right now, chilling, watching the news.
This is a sniper type rifle, very accurate.
Yeah.
It was recovered in this wooded area, and what police are going to do is they're going to do a DNA
Because he knew that campus too well. You know what I mean? He knew that campus too well. He might have been an ex-student there or something. I don't know. But he did his homework.
We're going to look at the stock as well. I'm sure that we're going to be able to extract some level of DNA, and that's where the FBI laboratory in Quantico comes into play.
Okay, Darren Portia, thank you so much for being on Top Story. This was so helpful. We thank you for that. We're going to turn now to Top Story's news feed at the wife of former U.S. Senator Bob Menendez, sentenced to 4.5 years in prison for her role in the couple's bribery schemes. Nadine Menendez sobbing before her sentence was announced, describing her husband as a manipulative liar. Still, she said she does not plan to divorce him.
Her defense
That's
attorney asked
the
the judge to
Menendez
let her
twins.
visit
Hold on.
visit her husband in prison before she
No.
surrenders. Nadine was
Menendez.
convicted of
No.
colluding with the former senator to sell his
Nadine
influence in
Menendez?
exchange for bribes of cash, gold bars,
Oh.
and a luxury car. And more than
Oh.
300 South Korean workers detained in last week's immigration raid at Hyundai facility in Georgia, now on a plane heading back to South Korea. U.S. officials say the people arrested were working
Korean.
in the country illegally. But the South Korean president responding today claiming that
We don't want no
the raid
problems.
could hurt his country's business ties with the U.S., which recently pledged billions of dollars in investments. And Senate Republicans triggering the so-called nuclear option to change the rules of the Senate, allowing them to quickly push through presidential nominees. The move lets lawmakers speed up the confirmation of President Trump's nominees instead of processing them one by one. The rule applies to executive branch positions subject to 2 hours of Senate debate, but it will not affect judicial nominations. And the NCAA says it's investigating over a dozen former men's college basketball players from 6 different schools for betting-related violations. Student athletes accused of betting on and against their own teams, sharing information with third parties and manipulating game scores. The organizations didn't name any of those players, but the schools include Temple, Arizona State, and under current rules, no athletes or staff
All right, none of my
are allowed
schools.
to bet on any sports that have NCAA championships. All right, a massive acquisition could be hitting Hollywood very soon, according to the Wall Street Journal, who's reporting Paramount Skydance is preparing a majority cash bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. The move would see the two titans of the entertainment industry come together, and you can see some of the massive companies that would be affected by the deal, like HBO and CNN, which are owned by Warner Brothers.
What?
And CBS and MTV,
Nickelodeon,
Paramount, not to
Showtime,
mention the
Comedy
resorts
Central.
movie studios.
Come on,
This
not
comes
South
just weeks
Park.
after Skydance closed another massive deal to merge with Paramount. So what could all this mean for the future of film and television? We're bringing in a CNBC's media and
Guess we're gonna be
sports reporter,
independent.
Alex Sherman, to break it down. Alex, first, would this become the largest media company in the world?
Well, it would depend on how you define media company, because look, I mean, Comcast is a media company and that it owns NBC Universal, but this would certainly dwarf NBC Universal alone in size. But these days, you know, YouTube is a media company, and that would certainly be much larger. Amazon is a media company, Apple is a media company, so it depends on the definition.
Turner Network.
Look, even Disney, you would say, is a
Ted
media
Turner.
company, and it certainly wouldn't be as big as Disney. But it would be a very large deal. The market cap of Warner Brothers Discovery at the end of today was about $40 billion. It has another $20 billion or so of debt on top of that. So we're talking about a deal, you know, around
That's not that much
$60
money,
billion
though.
enterprise value.
When you make
That's
the
a huge
movies.
deal, certainly, and it's way
You
bigger
can make that off
than the company
2 movies.
of Paramount Skydance today. So they would be buying a larger company here, and they would be using money from Larry Ellison, one of the wealthiest men in the world, to do it.
Or the richest man in the world, depending on what day it is. I do want to ask you, what do you think the Ellison play is here, right? Because, you know, if you think about the Ellisons, they're at the forefront of technology, right? Oracle, they are already there. They are in the quote-unquote sexy business right now in the world. Why do you think they're coming back and buying up legacy media?
David Ellison's stated play, take him at his word, is that he wants to modernize the media business. In other words, he wants to take media assets and sort of turn them into technology companies. Now, he hasn't fully stated how he plans on doing that. There are rumors that, you know, they would love to get their hands on TikTok if ever that deal was forced by the U.S. government. Of course, you need a willing seller in China, or you need them to be forced somehow. TikTok is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company. But Oracle and TikTok have a long relationship between the two of them, where Oracle has kind of been the back-end U.S. technology provider for TikTok. Even if
He like the dude from Verizon. He like the Verizon dude.
see David Ellison wanting
Oh, I know about Oracle. Oh.
of the media.
Okay.
So
I know one thing about Oracle, because Oracle is like a lot of the
again, he hasn't fully
they do a lot of the tech stuff for these restaurants. Okay, I got some Oracle I got some Oracle damn cameras. You know what I mean? I know about Oracle. Okay.
Do you think, because some people have said this also, look, anytime there's a lot of money, the richest companies in the world at the time Gulf Western, GE, I mean, you can name them all, have wanted to own media companies, movie studios, because it is fun, it's entertaining, right? It expands their brand in some ways. Do you think there's some of that here, or do you think there's a real strategy?
It's a real strategy. It's a strategy.
A little in column A, a little in column B. I mean, David Ellison grew up as the son of Larry Ellison. He certainly, probably didn't need to work a day in his life if he didn't want to. But he grew up as sort of a young filmmaker and then morphed into the CEO of Skydance, which was a, somewhat small, but not that
Independent
small film production company, which then kind of grew up to be TV production too. And then this was a giant leap forward with the most recent deal negotiated with Sherry Redstone to buy Paramount. So this would be an even bigger, leaps and bounds bigger deal if this in fact comes together, where Paramount buys Warner Brothers Discovery, which owns HBO, it owns the Warner Studio, it owns a bunch of cable networks, CNN, TNT, TBS. So they would become a major player in media. Of course, that's kind of a fun job, but look, it would also have to be kind of definitionally a good investment because this will remain a publicly traded company.
Yeah, and then finally in the news world, in the world of journalism, you could see a scenario where, I guess, CBS News would merge with CNN?
Fox News?
Well, yeah, exactly how that would come to pass, we don't really know yet. CBS is a broadcast channel, CNN is a cable news network. Look, you could think of it sort of as NBC and MSNBC, right? Like they're not necessarily merged. They could still have two different functions, but they could certainly share resources. But look, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit there. Kind of one step at a time here. The bid hasn't even been given to Warner Brothers Discovery yet, although I'm told that could happen as soon as next week.
And then finally, Alex, any sort of pitfalls, any hurdles here? We know Larry Ellison has a very good relationship with the president.
Yeah, look, you would think that there may be some regulatory hurdles here bringing together two of the largest movie studios. Certainly as analysts have contemplated this deal, which they have in different iterations for many years. That has been one of the regulatory holdups, or at least potential. But we just saw Skydance merge with Paramount. This would be a bigger deal, but yeah, you'd have to think that the Ellison's relationship with the Trump administration could go a long way toward getting a deal through.
And if you look at the history of tech leaders in the last 20 years, scale is the name of the game, and this might be part of a scaling, a massive media operation eventually. Alex Sherman, always great to have you on Top Story, and always great to see you. When Top Story returns, major developments tonight in the Epstein saga. What a new trove of emails reveal about Ghislaine Maxwell's relationship with Epstein and talks of having fertility treatments together. Plus the investigation into a man known as the real Tarzan. Have you seen this guy? While he's facing backlash for catching crocs in Australia.
Oh yeah, I watch him on YouTube. Tarzan.
Noche de party, traes tu A-game. A encender la chispa, traes tu A-game. Trae tu A-game para cuidar tu salud sexual e incluye Aperture, un medicamento recetado utilizado para reducir el riesgo de VIH.
HIV.
Aperture ayuda a darte protección continua cuando se recibe cada 2 meses y ha demostrado ser superior a una PrEP diaria para reducir el riesgo de contraer VIH. Debes ser VIH negativo para recibir Aperture y hacerte una
How you
prueba
doing?
antes de
This is
cada
my friend. Nice to meet
Si
you.
crees que has estado expuesto al VIH o tienes síntomas similares a la gripe, informa a tu médico de inmediato. Podrían ser necesarias más pruebas de VIH. Aperture no previene otras infecciones de transmisión sexual. Practica sexo más seguro para reducir tu riesgo. Recibe Aperture según lo programado. Saltarse dosis aumenta tu riesgo de contraer VIH. No recibas Aperture si eres alérgico o si tomas ciertas medicinas que pueden interactuar. Informa a tu médico sobre tus condiciones médicas, problemas de hígado y salud mental. Los efectos secundarios graves incluyen reacciones alérgicas o erupciones cutáneas, problemas de hígado y depresión. Si estos ocurren, busca atención médica de inmediato. El efecto secundario más común es una reacción en el lugar de la inyección. Siempre quieres traer tu A-game. Entonces, pregúntale a tu médico acerca de Aperture.
Subway's meal of the day gives you 7 of our most legendary subs, packed with protein and fresh chopped veggies. All Marshawn's favorites, like
Teriyaki Tuesday. Give me all that sweet onion teriyaki sauce. Or meatball marinara Wednesday. Now that's a deal. The ultimate BMT.
Did you sleep here?
Another grind, no sleep. It's awesome.
7 legendary subs for $6.99 each with chips and a drink. And if you're big hungry, make it a foot long.
I watched him in some movie. He played in.
Breeze, when you host, your bathroom can feel like a revolving door, and that just clean freshness is going, gone. Unless you keep things fresh with Febreze Bathroom. It's an outlet-free air freshener that continuously fights odors and freshens for 45 days. So even after every flush, you know your bathroom is going to smell amazing.
Go blow it up.
25 delightful scents. Febreze Bathroom.
We're back down with a wild story out of Australia. An American influencer who calls himself the real Tarzan is under investigation after he posted a video of himself wrangling a crocodile. Tonight, the Australian government calling his actions dangerous and illegal. NBC's Jesse Kirk explains.
This is the biggest pit cobra in captivity.
His stunts are jaw-dropping. Social media influencer Mike Holston again and again going face to face with some of the world's most intimidating creatures.
He's crazy.
Tonight, the man known as the real Tarzan is being clawed at by more than just animals. In this recent viral video, Holston wrestles what he says is a freshwater crocodile in Queensland, Australia. While he seems pretty excited about catching the croc, others are not wild about the moment. Critics writing the incident was real disrespectful. This feels like cruelty, and leave our crocs alone. A Queensland government spokesperson telling NBC News they are actively investigating, adding these actions are extremely dangerous and illegal, and we are actively exploring strong compliance action, including fines to deter any person from this type of behavior. Even the crocodile hunter's family is sounding off. The late Steve Irwin's father reportedly telling Australian media people visiting our country need to respect our wildlife or they need to be booted out the door. A crocodile conservation group saying this behavior is distressing for the animal and illegal under the Nature Conservation Act.
Come on now.
It's promoted on large social
Yeah,
media
because he,
platforms
I ain't gonna
without
say that.
permits or authority to handle wildlife. It sets a
Because he's not
dangerous
Australian?
precedent. We reached out to Holston and have not heard back. But in the past, Holston has said he cares about wildlife.
They probably can see my love and passion for animals.
And even as public criticism began growing, Holston posted another video going after what he says was a saltwater crocodile, a move that could carry fines up to roughly $25,000.
This thing is sick.
Holston then commented on his own post, writing in part, "These videos are for educational purposes only. I don't encourage anyone to try to recreate or reenact these videos." Jesse Kirsch, NBC News.
Down at Top Stories Global Watch, former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro convicted of plotting a military coup to stay in power after his 2022 election loss. The ruling today handed down by a majority of justices on the country's Supreme Court, sentencing him to more than 27 years in jail. You may remember Bolsonaro's supporters storming Brazil's Congress, calling for a government takeover. Right now, Bolsonaro remains on house arrest and is set to be sentenced later this week. And at least 8 people killed and more than 90 others hurt after a fiery gas tanker crash in Mexico City. Video shows the truck engulfed in flames, emergency crews racing to put out the fire, the tanker reportedly exploding after it tipped over on a highway, burning dozens of vehicles along the road. It was carrying more than 13,000 gallons of gas. Investigators still looking into how it all happened. And the EU calling for sanctions against Israel over its war in Gaza. The European Commission president saying she will seek partial trade suspensions against Israel and sanctions against some of the country's ministers. The EU is Israel's largest trading partner and has been facing pressure to take action as the conflict escalates. The announcement comes as Israel carried heavy airstrikes targeting Houthi rebels in Yemen, killing at least 35 people and leaving more than 130 others hurt. Okay, back here at home, we turn to new details emerging about Jeffrey Epstein and just how close the disgraced financier was to his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. A report from Bloomberg today unearthing previously unseen emails, allegedly laying out Maxwell's personal and financial proximity to the convicted sex offender. NBC's Hallie Jackson breaks it down for us.
New insight tonight into the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell from a trove of purported emails, more than 18,000 published by Bloomberg News, which suggests Maxwell and Epstein were closer in many respects than either publicly admitted. In her July interview with the Deputy Attorney General, Maxwell, Epstein's convicted co-conspirator, recounts asking Epstein about the initial investigation into him.
He said, not to worry, if you didn't say anything, shut up. I wasn't part of it at all.
The Bloomberg report suggests she counseled Epstein after that. At one point, he asked her advice on what charge to negotiate in his 2008 plea agreement. I suppose lewd and lascivious conduct, she responded. NBC News has not independently obtained or verified the emails. Bloomberg says they were authenticated using cryptographic and metadata analysis and corroboration with external sources. The outlet says one email included a detailed spreadsheet of 2,000 gifts and payments, like, quote, lingerie and chocolates, some for teenage girls who later lodged sexual abuse complaints. Except for 3 minor instances, Bloomberg says the emails do not otherwise mention President Trump, who has said his relationship with Epstein ended in the early 2000s. The White House calling it, in part, stupid fake news. Maxwell's attorney has not responded to NBC's request for comment. And for the first time, revelations Maxwell and Epstein were going through a fertility treatment together, according to Bloomberg, years after she said they broke up. In 2005, Bloomberg says Maxwell emailed Epstein detailed instructions on a sperm donation, adding, "You can do the sample at home." And tonight, fallout internationally, with the British Prime Minister firing the UK ambassador to the US because they say these newly released emails show that the extent of his relationship with Epstein was greater than previously known. Tom?
When we come back, the heroes of 9/11. 24 years later, the sons of firefighters who lost their lives on that fateful day, now following in their father's footsteps. What they told our Sam Brock about their father's legacy. Stay with us.
Every case requires patience, time.
Let me guess, you're a tortured genius who cares too much about his patients.
You got that right. The brain is fragile. It can only take so much.
I need my door SWAT team now!
He has no control over his own arm.
Dude's got a mean left hook.
Yeah, we've been acquainted. My name's Dr. Wolf. And we're gonna help you.
ABC's Brilliant Minds, new September 23rd on Peacock.
Oh, I gotta come clean. I don't get football.
What?
Why do they score by 7?
6.
And the kicker is so little. I worry about him. Do you even like my nachos? I love your nachos, man.
Cottonelle leaves you so clean, you'll want to come clean about everything else.
This here's a story about a true pioneer called Chloe. Chloe got herself a darn fine career. Family depends on her hard work. She's got mouths to feed, a homestead to send to. So she makes certain her little Billy gets to do the things she loves.
Yes, nailed it.
For a modern pioneer like Chloe, the only life insurance will do is modern woodman.
Modern wood. That's a peculiar name for life insurance.
Zip it, Cookie.
All right then.
Make your dog a Quattro dog. Cordelio Quattro offers the broadest parasite protection of its kind, protecting against ticks, fleas, heartworm disease, and 3 intestinal worms, including tapeworms, in a single monthly chewable tablet. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurological disorders. Ask for Cordelio Quattro and make your dog a Quattro dog.
We are back now, marking 24 years since the September 11th terror attacks. Tonight we are remembering the first responders who risked their lives and in many instances paid the ultimate price. The children of some of the brave firefighters who rushed into the Twin Towers are now joining the FDNY themselves to carry their legacies forward. Our Sam Brock has their story.
For a second today, time stood still as a nation honored the thousands killed on September 11th and the bravery of those who responded from Lower Manhattan to Pennsylvania to our nation's capital, where President Trump attended a ceremony at the Pentagon. And for 3 members of the FDNY, all sons of fallen firefighters, every day is painful.
Well, we, as a department, have that slogan of never forget, right? And it's not just never forget the guys, it's never forget the actions that they took. Never forget what they did that day.
Battalion Chief Chris Gansey, Lieutenant Chris Mascali,
Yes,
and
yes,
firefighter Scott Larson all upended after their fathers
Police,
tried to rescue
fire
victims in
department.
the rubble or in the towers.
I do remember being at my grandparents' house and just, like, he was supposed to come home that night. And it was about 5, 6, 7 o'clock, and, you know, everyone was starting to see, like, the writing on the wall, and,
Yeah, he looked just like his damn daddy.
My 13-year-old keeps asking me, she goes, I can't believe he did that. And it's funny because now we're all in a job and we're like, no, I absolutely can believe that he did that. Like, this is what we do. Like, we don't leave ourselves, our guys, we stay. We stay.
For Mascali, the loss proved a call to action.
I go to work each day and I hold myself accountable because I know he would hold me accountable, right? And it's to serve and to be a part of this department.
We asked the trio about lessons for younger generations.
What I would say to them is, look at what happened in the days after 9/11, and look at how the United States and the country surrounded each other.
would be a pretty good lesson for right now, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
We're all people at the end of the day.
A shared humanity they say we should always remember, especially now.
Chris Gansey says he just turned 49 years old and is having a very difficult time reconciling the fact he's almost the exact same age as when his father, Pete, died, the man who was orchestrating the entire rescue operation from the towers that day. Scott's father was only 35 years old at the time. They both said, this is like September 11th every single day, which is why they keep their families and their dads close to them every single time they put on that uniform. Tom?
And our thanks to Sam Brock for that story. I'm joined tonight by one of the brave first responders, former NYPD Captain John Monahan, who 24 years ago answered that call and rushed to the Twin Towers. John's a good friend of Top Story, and we appreciate you being here on a very difficult day. This day happens every year, right? And you have to look back, and it is so tough even now. When it is 9/11, you wake up on this day, what goes through your head?
Tom, and it's all many things every year, it's something different that comes to the fore. This year I'm thinking about the phrase first responders. Prior to 9/11, when you describe people who rushed into the danger when everyone was running for their lives, the phrase was cops and firemen. It seems to have evolved since 9/11 to first responders. I think I know why. What I saw that morning, tough memory. But by the time I got there, the towers were in flames already. We had evacuated a number of buildings in Wilmington, because you know there's a third plane up there, we didn't know where it was going. We evacuated City Hall, one police plaza, courthouses. So I had
You got some action outside, y'all. Hold on.
one of my lieutenants, and a shout out to Lieutenant Mike, God bless you, Mike.
Yeah.
We rushed to the valley.
Hold on, y'all. We got some shit going on.
There was no communication, no cell towers were down. Phones were working. So there were cops coming.
I
No,
got.
I'm sorry, y'all, but I appreciate. I said, where's everybody? I did say, goddamn, fuck all that. I'm not being funny and I'm cussing like that, but where everybody at? I ain't need
We all
everybody. Because I'm getting ready to cut up.
We thought you
I
got to
didn't
talk to
care.
yourself.
I didn't have to get.
Yeah,
I'm talking all right.
Scream like
I
that.
just thought you were out
I'm
here.
talking all
Like
right.
normal, like she out here doing, you know what I mean?
And then I heard,
No, it won't like that.
I was like, oh God, no, that's actual.
See, I'm lucky I hear all that now. I'm lucky I hear all that rustling
I
and
was like, oh
shit.
no, it's for real.
Okay, we be like, bah, bah, bah. No, I'm sorry.
For real though.
That would have been.
He left whenever I walked over here. Like,
Yeah, okay.
he's like, okay, this is.
Did he got? Do we got his bag? Do we got his bag?
Shit, I don't know, but he better have his money.
Yeah, you know what I mean? 'Cause I know he used to have a bag with him and Bluetooth and shit with him.
Flashlight on their ass.
Yeah, I think he did.
Oh, he did?
He
Yeah.
got like 2 big ass bags.
That's crazy. Got a shoe open. Where you been with them?
Somebody pick up that book before you say something.
What is it? Got a book. Oh.
Before she starts crying when she sees it.
Yeah. For sure. Damn it, yo. That's crazy out here cutting up.
What y'all doing? Goddamn,
We cleaning up. Look, you got your doorbell. Your doorbell on the ground.
I don't need y'all like that, girl. You right up there too. Like, what
Girl, I don't care. Chill out. Chill out. I'm picking your sign.
Try to be what? You ain't come over here put no karate chop.
She came look for you though. She handled your business. Oh, he threw your book and shit. It's damn. What time is it? 1:05 right here.
I ain't picking no books. I don't like touching books.
Okay, but that ain't like books when I was in school.
God, fuck 'em.
No, I do.
Damn, hey, just get off work. You had to work today? Are you still on vacation? You had to go.
I know. He gotta be out, cause he don't never be out. He gotta be out. It's a hard working motherfucker.
Trying to sleep.
Okay.
He said, I'm trying to get some rest.
You hear some,
All
yeah.
I hear is, eh.
Okay. Ain't when that come put a bitch in the head like something.
Trying to get out the door. And next thing you know, they like right there.
Jeez.
Trying
Lord have mercy.
No, I don't want him.
When he put you in that damn magic house you in.
No, this one's he's a warrant officer, okay?
This girl is crazy, y'all.
The warrant
You
officer.
already know.
military niggas.
This
No, I
girl,
got a new boyfriend.
his name is something else. His name is Ray Shaw.
Yeah.
Damn.
His mama lives over here.
Oh, whatever.
But this is, you
Come
know,
on, don't be killing the whole damn
that's
thing.
my
I'm your neighbor. I'm your
That's
neighbor.
my
Wham,
nephew.
wham.
That's my nephew.
I mean, wham with the whole shebang.
Goddamn.
Goddamn.
That thing right there, but
Yeah.
it's all good, but yeah.
I'm Kayla.
That's Kayla.
Yeah.
Kayla.
Kayla with a K.
From the Kayla. Ramirez already know Kayla.
I don't know. I know of her.
I live right there.
Kayla. Yeah, there you go. Kayla from Atlanta.
From ATL Shorty.
She said ATL.
I thought she
she knows T.I. and all that. Who was the other one? What's the other one you say you know?
Young Thug.
Young Thug.
Oh, I wouldn't want to know your thug
Oh,
right
you
now.
don't know
Not
who
right
that
Nah.
is?
I wouldn't tell her no. Nah.
Wait a minute.
What up?
Y'all don't know that?
What up, Corndale?
Shit right now.
He's in trouble.
That nigga, he about to go back to jail.
Oh, yeah. Oh, one of them.
Red light.
Oh, yeah.
He said warrant officer. I ain't heard that shit from my granddad.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
That's what I said. And then he found me. I
Word.
Well, yeah, you know I'm packing and stacking that thing.
Chilling by my damn
Oh,
self.
damn, yeah. Right there.
Put it on them.
Y'all ever see me swinging in my
Put
swing?
it on them.
Nah, I just don't be here for
Used to
real.
be, not no more though.
I'm about to be.
Not no more. It's about to be.
Since you got that roommate.
Oh, you got a roommate now?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah.
I do.
Uh-huh.
Transfer.
Listen
Oh, you got
here.
two females?
Yeah, one.
No.
I mean, two females now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
look
true.
at me with one shoe.
I know.
That's why I look right there.
I was literally trying to get you your other freaking
And she said,
feet. I was trying to
Kick your
I
ass.
want her to
Exactly. I was about to get up out of there. PTSD on me.
You ain't doing nothing.
I don't mess with black people.
Wait,
They
go
get
ahead.
mad, man. Do what you
Leave
do.
us alone.
They get mad. Do
Leave
that.
us alone. Hey, what? What up, drop? Everything okay, baby?
I came over here that day.
I love you, boo.
Yeah, came out the whole
All right,
damn.
I'm all right. Okay, boo.
You on them Georgia?
I am. I got my people right here. It's okay, ball. Wrestle like a mother.
Not the west
What
side.
God it is. All around this whole field, the west side.
Nah, wait. You know, we got the east side field. We got east side, south
This
side,
west
north
side.
side. This
though,
is the
right
west
here,
side.
though,
You right?
Really, this really west side.
I'm from your side.
No.
I'm about to say, okay.
I'm
Y'all see,
Better
grab on goddamn.
Hey, damn. I be hungry.
Sleep already.
I
ain't
No,
know.
she's never
She
even
got her
home.
new girl.
No, she's never even home.
She got something like sleeping like that. What you up to?
Nothing really.
Right there, right now, you just heard my loud.
Yeah.
You should have came over with your damn what?
With
Tell
my
me
what?
what you got. Tell me what you got. Come on, girl, cause you in the mic. Come on.
You ain't got no protection.
Lord, yeah.
We on the mesa, baby.
She said a baseball.
No.
What you gonna do with that?
She
Beat
said
the hell
baseball,
down.
baby. I'm gonna taser.
Taser.
Sky Army.
My life, you better get a taser.